So we ended season 2 with a ton of loose ends tied up, so thank you for that. And then untied everything for season 3, so thank you for that too. So one of the newest threads that we started on is we meet a new big bad. So Vivian Stoll, who's the head of Fillmore Graves, thank you for that too, Enterprises, is a military contractor. They just bought Max Rager, and she ends by saying, someday soon, Seattle is going to be the capital of the zombie homeland, and a lot of people aren't going to want to see that happen. So, she says to Liv, are you with us or are you against us? How torn is Liv in that moment? You see it in her face, but how torn is she, and how is that so important to the start of season 3?
She asks who's going to win, and then that's how she picks.
That sounds about right. Yeah. No, I mean, that's a writer's question. I feel like Liv is very conflicted. It's like, this is a military operation. This is a bunch of zombies she didn't know about. I don't think you want to antagonize that super quickly. But it definitely has a slightly sinister feel about it. So I feel like Liv's wisening up in her late 20s. So she's got a great counsel now. Now she's got Baba who knows. Baba knows.
Baba knows. Baba knows.
And so she's got like a whole lot of people to talk to about this and to help her make kind of considered decisions, including 2 great writers who are going to chip in right now.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And when we say that Vivian Stoll is a big bad, and she's certainly, I mean, we are bringing in Fillmore Graves, and they are kind of replacing Max Rager this season, but I think if the first 2 seasons were built with this idea that, you know, season 1, Blaine was killing teenagers and runaways, and and season 1 ended with a big showdown at Meet Cute, and season 2 we certainly knew that Steven Weber was the big bad, and it ended up with a massive showdown at Max Rager. I think season 3 is different, and Vivian Stoll is different. I'm not sure that I would file her under big bad, and I think this season we're asking Liv a bigger ethical question. I mean, she finds out there is essentially a zombie army ready to do battle the day that humans find out that there are zombies walking among them, and what they believe at Fillmore Graves is that once humans find out, they're going to exterminate zombies. And the question that Vivian is asking is, when that day comes, and when they come to exterminate us, whose side are you on? And a lot of season 3 is going to be about Liv figuring out the answer to that question.
You would think, at least at some point, not now, that Blaine would have been sort of a big part of that, and we would know what side he was on. Now it's a little more dubious. David, you have played 1 or 2 villains in the past, but now you're sort of a good guy. How does that feel?
I guess so.
Like acting.
Yeah. Yes, only on screen. Yeah, it's a fun thing. You know, I think every actor wants to play as many different characters as possible during their career, and you know, the opportunity to play different characters within the same show is kind of cool. I think it's a little castrating because I miss that old Blaine. I miss the quips. And
You can't be castrated. You're uncastratable.
I'm uncastratable? Well, it's that, what is that? It's that chastity belt. You can't get through it. It's true, guys. It's true. Yeah, but it's a fun thing to play with. Yeah, getting to know this new Blaine, you know, as it comes.
So when you start a whole new season with a clean slate like this, a new Blaine, a whole new, not big bad, a whole new zombie movement, how do you start writing for a season like that that's so different?
We spend the first couple weeks not talking about the new episodes. We just talk in the writer's room about what is the shape of the season, where and I've done this sort of my whole career, and Diane and I have tried to build a season as its own story. So we go into it saying, what is the season story? Where are we going to end this year? And let's build backwards from there. And so we don't have all the details fleshed out, but we know who's going to be in a relationship and when and what direction that's heading. And we really kind of have a very good idea of what the season finale is going to look like. We know, Diane and I know where we're heading this year. We don't know all the details, but we know the end destination.
So the season finale for season 3 is in the ether somewhere. It's in the cloud.
It is.
Okay.
It's there.
So speaking of knowing the relationships and where they're going, so Rose, you've said that Liv and Major sort of have a little Ross and Rachel in them. Where do you think that relationship is going, or where should it go?
I kind of have always stood by the fact that they are friends first and foremost. That's kind of hopefully the foundation of a good relationship. So
Friends. You just said friends.
the nice guy. I recently heard that's not a compliment. Apparently, you're such a nice guy. But anyway, I think ultimately I would love Liv and Major to work out, but I feel like right now there's bigger fish to fry. Like she's really. That's a precarious friendship anyway. It's not a risk. It's not something I would treat lightly or want to just jeopardize easily. So, but what I have been promised is that Liv's next romantic interest, whoever that may be, major or otherwise, will not be killed off. So I was pretty happy to hear that. That was news to me, and I was starting to fear for,
I was concerned.
What was I doing?
I was afraid because Rob always wants to kill them, and I never do. But Rob demanded that Lowell be killed, and...
That is so not true.
Wow.
It's not true. I just was kidding.
Thrown under the bus.
Liv's a real great lay if you're into dying.
I'm like the wasp. Isn't it a wasp or something when they
Yeah, it's a
mate?
death trap.
They mate and they kill the partner? That's what it's like, right? A bee?
That's a Black Widow.
I'll take it. Yeah.
And I think a praying mantis does that too.
Okay, well, I'll take Black Widow.
Well, I mean, if we're continuing on the relationship thread, we have a great love triangle in Peyton and Ravi and Blaine. The ending was someone has already chosen. Ravi is the nice guy. He seems to be finishing first. Where do you guys think that's going? Who would you like to see Peyton with?
Liv.
We don't really know. We just know that this triangle exists and is going to continue to exist this season. I think it puts Ravi in an interesting place because he's now just truly kind of finding out that there was a relationship there between Peyton and Blaine. And so I think that that'll kind of affect their relationship throughout the first few episodes of this season, and the tension there between us now going back to that awkward, hi, we're friends, I like you more than that, but nothing's maybe gonna happen there. I don't know, I like her with both. Can it just be an open relationship?
Polyamory, baby. Big love.
I think we should make it a love square and get Clive in on the action.
There you go.
A quadrant?
Okay.
I love quadrant. What'd you say?
What am I, just the fifth wheel who tags along on the weekends? This is terrible.
No, you're not
You
invited.
guys
You
aren't
kill
ready.
people. Yeah, I think I like that kind of dynamic. She's torn between good and bad. That's a fun thing to play with. I'm looking forward to what you have in store for us, Robin.
Yeah. Raul, what do you think?
Oh, I'm just happy. Whatever gets me working with David and Aly, like it's so much fun, and relationships that are easygoing and people get together and there's no drama, they're boring, right? It doesn't make good TV. So you need a good kind of conflict for both characters. So I'm super.
I love that Raul is playing it so cool now. You should see him in real life. Like, I think Raul cares more about this trio than Ravi cares about how it pans out. Just today, and this is, Aly, I hope I'm not saying the wrong thing now, but you had blisters on your feet, like the rest of us wearing heels all day, and she wanted to get from one door to another. And Rahul honestly like tripped over himself running towards her, being like, "I'll carry you barefoot. I'll carry you." And like it was classic. Anders stood over there kind of.
I'm method, all right?
He's very
I'm
method.
All right?
Yeah. He's getting into the character, you guys. We start the new season in 3 days, so I mean, come on.
We're going to do some like a Law and Order sort of thing this year.
Yeah, the dun dun dun. That's going to be in every episode.
That's all.
Liv and Clive are going to solve a case in one episode, and then Peyton is going to then prosecute it in the following episode and find out there's more to it than it seems.
Really?
So
I don't even know this. I'm learning this.
Yeah, wow. Oh, and by the way, and this is a huge and cool thing for us. Aly is now officially a series regular.
We did have to get rid of Robert Buckley so that we could afford her, but everyone's okay with that, right?
So she doesn't. We
sorry.
don't have to send her on trips to France while she's shooting some other pilot.
Right, there you go. Yeah. I'm very grateful to be a part of the family officially, so thanks, guys.
And I believe we'll also be part of the main title sequence, which we're very excited.
Wait, do I get a little character?
You get a little character.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to get tears in my eyes. That's awesome. I've always wanted a little avatar character of myself. Okay, cool. That's another check.
All right.
List.
So now that we have Peyton as a series regular, which is amazing, and she does have this dynamic with these two gentlemen, we haven't gotten much backstory on Ravi. Are we going to sort of have some flashbacks? Rahul, since you seem to be very method, do you have some idea of what Ravi's backstory may have been? Do you have some concept of it in your head?
Yeah, but it's not canon it's fan fiction at best. When I actually first auditioned for Ravi and got the part, I have a diary where I wrote as the character in first person, and I chose his parents' names and all of that stuff, and all of it's completely irrelevant to the script.
Until we need backstory for you, and I'm like, hey, Rahul, how about that diary?
Well, I've been pitching to Diane. I was like, well, you know what? If we ever saw Ravi's family, I really want Ben Kingsley as Ravi's dad. Because he looks like my old man. They kind of look the same, and they're both English, both born in England and Indian. So Ben Kingsley's who I'm trying to get us for iZOMBIE. Sir Ben Kingsley.
Big fan of the show, by the way. Big fan.
Oh, he loves it.
He's itching to do a CW show.
He
too,
live
so.
tweets and all that. He ships everyone, and he stands us and all that stuff.
I didn't realize you've been plugging for fathers. I reckon I want Bill Murray to be Liv's dad, which has been a bit of a
Spoiler alert.
a shoo-in, I'm sure. Yeah, spoiler alert. No, we don't know enough about Liv's dad yet. We're not planning on finding that out too soon, are we?
I had Dennis Quaid for Major's dad. Right?
He actually is Major's
That's actually
dad.
kind of good.
Dennis
Yeah.
Quaid. Yeah, it worked.
Are we going to get some Ravi backstory?
We do. We're actually going to meet. We're going to meet the woman from the CDC who fired him from the CDC this year.
That's good.
So a little bit of Ravi's past is going to walk right into the morgue.
We'll get some backstory on Clive.
We are.
We'll have
gonna,
an episode that has some Clive backstory.
We're going to get the origin story of when he became such a Game of Thrones fan.
That's a whole episode, isn't it? Dedicated to that?
Dedicated just to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so
And it's
crazy.
just him opening a book and reading.
Malcatraz on the show, Clive is such a huge throner, and Malcatraz in real life hasn't seen a single episode. Shame!
I've seen
Shame!
Oh my gosh, can we not chant that at
Shame!
I actually seen that episode. Yes, I have. I've seen that episode.
You
No,
were
I
probably
have- I
really
have-
confused
I
with
have
that
to binge
episode.
watch. I've seen like 8 episodes.
Well, you know why? Because Malcolm's the biggest fan of what show, Malcolm?
Oh, I watch a lot of The 100.
He's the
I
biggest
do
one out
watch
of
The
the
100. I am caught up. I gave it a try. We know a lot of the cast, and a lot of our crew worked on that show, so I was like, let me give it a shot. Literally, my whole weekend gone. I watched 2 episodes on Netflix, right? I mean, 2 seasons on Netflix straight.
That's a week. That's a
You
loss
did a
of
whole weekend, 2 episodes.
It's just 2 episodes. I keep rewinding it over and over again because it's so brilliant.
Well, now that we know more of Malcolm's backstory as well,
That's my backstory.
what about sort of moving forward? One of the biggest things in the finale that struck me was when Clive chose to, basically said he would rather take a bullet than become a zombie and save his life. What do you think that is sort of setting up for Clive in season 3?
Clive, there's no circumstance where he will want to become a zombie. I don't even think it will look good on him as a zombie. The pale skin, the white hair. I don't know. Clive is a little fashion conscious, so I don't think he'll be down with that. But I think if Clive were to turn into, a zombie, it would be to save someone else's life. It wouldn't be to save his own life. He's been selfless in so many ways throughout the last 2 seasons. So that's the only situation I can see him turning into a zombie.
Do you think we might see Dale returning?
Maybe. Jess Harmon was so great. As Dale Bazio. She just brought so much to that character. The chemistry was...
True story. Bozano and my OTP, my one trip pairing, and I remember when we were shooting, we were talking about how Jess is such a touching, moving actress to watch. She's just wonderful. And when you guys were shooting the scene at the end of the season where they break up, Malcolm as Clive was like he would hold it together, he would be great.
Yeah.
So like on all Mac's coverage, it was like he was fine. Turned round and it had Jess's coverage, and off screen Malcolm just had tears streaming on his face.
Yeah, tears.
It breaks my heart, that one, honestly.
Yeah,
He was thinking about that episode of The 100 that he was watching.
yeah, exactly. The first 2 episodes that I watched.
I'm glad you have a favorite
100 times.
CW show, Malcolm. Really glad to hear it.
It's my second favorite.
We did say goodbye to a lot of characters this season. Drake, Chief, Vaughn. I'm not going to list everyone. It's a zombie show. A lot of
Hilda.
characters died. But we never really knew what happened to Blaine's father. The last we saw him, he was listening to a wonderful rendition of One Day More. He was scared to death, as one would be. He was being tortured as I think he should have been. Are we going to see him again?
Yes. Blaine's dad, Angus, played by the incredibly talented Robert Nepper, will be back for season 3. We see him in the first episode, and we find him frozen in...
Papa, can you freeze me? Continue, Rob.
We see him frozen in the Shady Plots basement. And we have some fun plans for him this year. We're thrilled to have him back. He is always electric.
He's a fantastic actor. It's a pleasure sharing the space, any space with him. He's a great actor. And a great guy. Terrible arm wrestler.
Terrible what?
Arm wrestler.
Oh, really? Oh.
True story.
Oh.
Anyway, next question.
Just a bit of a mudsling.
Will we get more on Blaine's backstory? We've gotten bits and pieces, but now with his father sort of returning, will we be getting a little more?
Yeah, we've given a lot. We've given probably as much of Blaine's backstory as anyone in the show. We've been dishing that out piece by piece, but he's going to try to put together some of his memories here in season 3, and you'll get a bit more.
Oh, we can remember more about Super Nanny that raised him.
Right. She's getting her own spin-off.
I liked her, man. She was fun.
So, Liv hasn't had any female zombie friends. Is this going to be explored a little more with Vivian, with people who might be part of this? Is it going to change the dynamic between Liv and Peyton, potentially?
I don't know if I agree with the premise. I think that she and Gilda were pretty tight. We don't have. Vivian is going to be I mean, Vivian is a zombie, and Liv is going to spend a bunch of time with her, and I think to some degree become a bit of even a mentor figure to Liv, a very powerful female zombie.
Sorry.
Rose, you've eaten a lot of brains, and we've seen you play a ton of characters as you eat these brains. Are there any that you might, you've had in mind that you'd like to embody this season? Different
Yeah,
traits?
I'm running out of skills, so I'm really fighting for the
She's
ice
not
skater
running
at
out of
this point.
skills.
No, well, when we first went into the writer's room, actually, I got given this list that was like 5 pages worth of like specs for like ideas for Liv's brains this season. And these two, it was probably 30 to 50 ideas, and these guys were like, you're allowed to veto 1 out of the whole lot.
Wait, really? You were only allowed 1 that you could X-nay?
Oh, yeah, they were like, you're allowed 1 that you can just say an absolute no to.
Oh, wow.
And trying to be a real trooper, it's like day 1 back. I looked at them all. There were a couple that were a bit of a stretch, but I was like, you know what? I'd be okay. I'd be okay with any of these. I'll be okay. The one that they left off the list, which I found out today for the first time that I shall be playing soon, is a dominatrix. And I feel like that was a real curveball to give me that at Comic-Con just as I'm about to go into a press room.
Give the people what they want.
I think you should all know Rose is good at everything. Everything that we've given her to do, she picked up, I'm not even kidding, I'm not even being nice to her. She picked up a magic, I watched her, she did a card trick in like a half of a second. She spoke Romanian in like 15 minutes. She's gonna be the best Dom. By the end of this shoot, people are gonna be just submissive around her for like,
Well, there
because.
are 2 big things that come to mind. One is that like Clive wears a leather jacket and he is going to need to watch his back, I feel like.
That's right.
And 2 is I'm just going to have to clear my browser history like repeatedly, because if people start looking around my computer and seeing what I'm searching in research, I'm going to start some rumors.
What's her safe word gonna be, Rob and Diane?
Yeah, what's my safe word?
ficus.
What?
Ficus.
Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry, honey.
Ficus?
What's my safe word, Rob?
Apparently ficus.
So we did this. We talked about this before, but while we're talking about the actual brains of the show's creators, if you could, eat Diane or Rob's brains, what characteristic would you want to get out of it?
Don't go in there.
Do you get boobs out of brains?
Jeez, baby.
Because I'll take them.
Jeez.
The funny thing is, if you have the boobs, you don't need the brains. This is just bonus, people. It's just bonus.
That's what I'd take. What about you guys? Raoul, what would you take out of these
Stuck
2?
with boobs now. Then.
Boobs.
That's all you're hearing.
I think I've
Put
spoiled
a
it.
blank.
Just boobs, huh?
Well, that's all we care about, apparently, with you 2.
I'd like to eat Rob's brain to know when Blaine finally dies, because it's coming. It's coming. It's got to be coming. I didn't think I'd last 2 seasons, so it's a pleasure to be here with you all today. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to last 2 seasons either.
Okay. Lot of truth here today. A lot of truth.
We haven't talked about Mr. Boss at all, because he was in an interesting predicament at the end of the season as well. The last of his henchmen that we know about had been killed. He's the definite big bad that we know about, who's, as far as we know, not a zombie. Where's that storyline going? Where should we look at Mr. Boss?
Largely, that storyline is going to go away for a good part of the beginning of the season, but Mr. Boss is not dead. We just have a lot of story we want to play elsewhere at the beginning of season 3. So we would expect to see more of him, but it may be a little down the line.
So let's talk about Vivian Stoll a little more. So you said she's going to maybe be a mentor to Liv in a way. Gosh, I know you're not going to want to give more of this away, but how much of an impact is she going to have on Liv early on in the season? How quickly is that going to happen?
It happens beginning of Act 2 of the episode back. When we come back, Liv, this is, spoiler alert. Liv says to the rest of the gang, okay, we're going to be the No Secrets Club. This is going to be the season where everyone is on the same page, which, if I were to believe my Twitter account, is something you all have wanted. And she's going to tell the others about what Vivian said to her. Seattle's going to be the capital of the zombie homeland. Are you with us or against us? And they immediately decide to find out exactly what Vivian Stoll means about that. So that happens right away. Fillmore Graves, a lot of our story is going to rotate around there this year. You know it's important because we're building cool big sets for it. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of Vivian and a lot of Fillmore Graves.
Speaking of Twitter and social media, you guys are all really active on Twitter, which is awesome. You respond to your fans. You do a lot of live tweeting. What this season, what were people most upset about? What did you get the most
Minor.
Angry tweets about?
Oh, Minor. Yes, Minor.
Minor.
Oh, that's
Minor.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fine. Because now the Chaos Killer, this is spoiler alert, but now that he's freed, he could be reunited with his dog, so it all worked out.
Do we see that on screen?
No. But I see it in my mind so clearly that I can assure you it's what happens. And it's beautiful.
I mean, Drake, I think that was a moment too that people were kind of bummed about, just because he was a good dude, you know.
What about when you guys did you get a lot of...
Oh yeah, that popped up on our Twitter feed.
People got fired up about it?
Actually, I think the main complaint of season 2 is people are still mad about Lowell from season 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Johnny Cheekbones is doing fine. Tune into A&E every whatever. He plays Damien. He's great.
Someone actually had tweeted a question, when is Lowell coming back? And I said, I don't think he's
gone.
coming back. He didn't seem
I
to
don't
be.
think. Yeah, I don't think there's no coming back from that.
People were very excited about Ravi dancing without his shirt in the second season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do it with me, Rahul.
No more. I've been enjoying my food this.
We should probably have
hiatus,
more of that in the third season.
Definitely not. Wouldn't have thought so.
We should have full frontal.
Can we start a Twitter hashtag full frontal for Rahul?
Wait, Rahul or Ravi?
Both.
I apologize for people having to watch me play the organ while singing Procol Harum shirtless after our Christmas break. Thank you, Rob and Diane.
No, thank you, David.
So crossover episodes are actually really big right now. If you were to do a crossover episode with any show, what would it be?
If we could.
If you could choose any show.
Crossover iZombie with any show. It would be. I have a massive throner. So it'd be.
iZombie and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, somehow. Shame. Brain.
Maybe iZombie and Scream Queens.
Scream Queens? That'd be fun.
I want to do an iZombie Rick and Morty crossover.
Oh, my God. Oh, why didn't I say that?
Yes.
I want iZombie and Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Wait,
I would do iZombie and call them midwife. From my BBC friends out there who know what I'm talking about.
It's the midwife, then?
It was a bad joke. It was a joke bomb. We could move on from it right now. It's a show about midwives. Thank you. It's a great show about midwives in the 60s, and zombies have no business being on it. Again, bad joke that we could move on from, but thank you.
we haven't talked about brains because I know you talk about them a lot, but people are always asking, what do the brains taste like? They were not as good in the beginning. They're better now. Is there truth to that? Is that just a big rumor?
Oh, it's so funny. I guess I was a little bit of a baby about it at the start. There's a lot of like gelatin and corn syrup and hot sauce aren't an amazing combo, but it was fine, whatever. I kind of didn't want to be the big diva on set. And then the boys had to eat the brains, and they were such babies about it. They were like,
Yeah.
Buckley, you tried it.
Yeah, it was on pizza. I couldn't eat pizza for 2 months after that.
Yeah, there's something just kind of naturally repellent about that combo, but we did improve it a lot. We have this great on-set chef, Juno, who like ended up making these recipes where when the brains are cooked, they look like other things. They don't look like that gelatin anymore. So we have this, one of my highlights was this turkey chili broth that I genuinely got the recipe for afterwards and then started to worry about how much art was imitating life because I was going home and cooking like brain kind of chili, but it was delicious. So it's not all bad.
So everybody knows about zombies. All the good guys know about zombies. The only person who doesn't really know about zombies, like we said, is Mr. Boss. Are more good guys going to come in who don't know about zombies? Is that important to the show in season 3? It's an interesting dynamic now that the whole squad already knows.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be likable characters. I don't know that we have any plans for like recurring characters who become part of the group who don't know about zombies. We'll certainly meet some people. We've got some fun people who will meet again. I'm sure Johnny Frost will be back. We hope to get Ken Marino back in an episode. There'll be some people you know and like coming back.
And what about The Cure? This is, with this zombie, I keep saying the apocalypse, that's just what it is in my head. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe it's not the apocalypse yet, it's just takeover. They're obviously they might be fighting against a cure being developed. How can we look at that being addressed? Is that still something Ravi's going to pursue, or?
Yeah, it's definitely something that Ravi's going to pursue. But we do realize in the writers' room that if he ever gets completely successful at that our show is over. So even if we're already on Cure Mach 2. Cure Mach 1 caused death. Cure Mach 2 causes total memory loss. If he comes up with a new cure, it's got to be something bad too, or everyone's going to do it.
Pink eye.
So we do, we really track that. But we're having a lot of fun playing the memory loss. Like, we're excited about where that's going to take us this year.
Are there, for all of you actually, are there reveals and twists that happen in season 2 that sort of surprised you? Was, when you got the script, was there something that really shocked you?
Old Manders. It's pretty shocking.
Old Manders was one of my favorite things in that season.
Old Manders. That was a hell of a lot of fun to do, but it was a hell of a thing to get on my face and off.
That's a shout out to our makeup department who did such a great job transforming David
our
into
wonderful
an older
makeup
version of
artist,
himself. Honestly, Amber Trudeau.
Who wins all these awards, these Canadian awards for makeup, and we love her to death. She just crushes. That was a shock to me.
I was shocked with the Janko stuff that we had in the morgue. Killing when I didn't realize Ravi's technically the first good guy that isn't a zombie to kill someone that isn't a zombie. Even though it was accidental, I was pretty shocked by that one.
I was shocked that they would give Major a singing scene. But he went for it. He went in. Buckley went deep on the singing scene.
If you ever wonder why we don't do a musical episode, it's a 2-word answer: Robert Buckley. Otherwise, it would be like Glee on our show. But.
Wait, Rahul, how's your voice? I haven't heard you. Let's get the pipes
He can
out.
rap. He can rap.
I don't know what you want.
You can do
I
whatever
love
you
it.
want.
Sing. I just always sing it.
Rogue
Sing
can
it.
carry a note.
It's
I've
gonna
heard
be
him.
me.
Yeah.
A scene that got cut. I can't remember. Was it season 1 or season 2?
Everybody's
when they
Chakrabarti?
say-
Yeah, a scene that we got cut just for time, and I'm gonna bet that it's not even on our DVD extras because it's a song, and they typically don't want to pay for a song on the DVD extras. But was the country western singer episode, and Liv and Ravi broke into "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys," and until you've heard that sung with an English accent, you have not lived.
Hey, I was doing an American accent.
You should sing it now. Sing it now so they can hear what it's like, because they missed it.
Well, Rose, you'll have to help me. Was it Mama's on Read? I can't remember the lyrics. You give me.
That was what Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys.
Cowboys. I really.
You know what we're going to do is we're going to do a few sessions. It's going to be like one of those shows, like one of the Voice or something. We're going to take you away. We're going to do a few sessions. You're going to do a session with Anders as well. You're going to come back next year at the Comic-Con panel. You're just
Okay,
gonna
we'll be
kill
back.
it.
We'll sing it.
You're going to sing it. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Little pitchy, dog. You're a little pitchy right now.
No, he wasn't.
Still the best rapper though. So.
He's great. He's the best rapper on the show. Best rapper on the show.
Yeah.
The music on the show is a highlight as well. In every episode, there are choices that are kind of eclectic. You guys all can sing, obviously. Are there songs that you would like to see in episodes? If you could pick a song to be in an episode, what would it be?
I've already asked Rob and Diane if we can get the entire catalog of Hamilton in the episodes. And I'm moving some things around. I said I'll front $500K just to get us off the ground.
What song would you sing?
You say the price of my love's not a price that you're willing to pay. That's just for starters.
See, I would like to see you guys give David an Annie Lennox track, because there's been a little bit of confusion with some of the cosplays.
Broken glass.
Where people think people dressing as Anders are dressing as Annie Lennox instead.
That's what Raoul said on Twitter, that I'd been recast. Annie Lennox had been recast in that part. And it actually, people are like, is this true?
Yeah, I actually saw an article the other day, like yesterday, where they quoted that tweet and was like, they took this Annie Lennox joke seriously, and now they're reporting that he's not coming back.
And then
I would recast you with Annie Lennox in a second.
Oh,
yeah, she's dope.
I wouldn't. I
We'd
love
have
him,
the best
but I
chemistry,
would.
all of us.
Oh, that'd be amazing.